Burbler, he's in his element. It's just like nature. It's what we're all about. Wagons home! Have a look at that! Whoa! Just when they think it's safe to come out. Not an animal! Bang! I guess in the end, that's probably why we all go fishing. Sounder and the GPS is on. We're just got to make sure that everything is right. And before we leave, we've got to make sure we've got enough fuel, we've got enough bait, we've got all our safety gear, we've paid the man at the ramp our launching fee, and therefore they can put the money in and improve the ramp facilities. And then the only thing, you know what we're going to get? Just a small consideration. It's an easy question. It swims. What's it called?
Fish.
A fish.
Got it right.
So if there's any fish watching this particular program and you're out there, Peter and Teylar have travelled across the Nullarbor to fish with the Bearded Burbler. Now they're in actual shock at the moment because they thought, how could something so ugly run a fishing show? But today, folks, we're after one of the ugly fish of the sea and one of the most beautiful fish. I'll explain as the segment goes on. Let's hope we remember to put the bungs in and everything's going to be all right. I think everything is going to be fantastic. You know that I like kids, don't you?
Yeah.
Why?
I'm not sure about that.
Well, because I used to be one myself. And you know, also, I used to go to school with them. I wasn't very good. Throw our anchor over, we just place it over the side, just like that. And we allow the boat to continue to go in gear as that particular anchor is going. And now we've seen that the anchor is clear.
Yep.
We then put what's called a bridle on. Now, not a lot of people use bridles, although they do here in Victoria. And what it is, it's just like a bridle with a horse because we want this boat to go where we want to go, not where the boat wants to go. So there's the bridle, and as the tide takes up, you'll find that the front bridle will take over, and that will hold us in place with the top of this tide. And then when the tide turns to go the other way, well, we're not going to move 1 centimetre because that's where we want to fish. How about that?
Good.
I'll tie that off there like that, mate. We are anchored and ready to start fishing for elephants. So what we've got is a single hook. And what we do is we cut the head off the pilchard for 2 reasons. That gives us a bit of burley to make sure that the fish gets hungry. And the other thing is we don't feed the fish too big a bait. Now my adage is that you can always catch a big and a small fish on a small to medium-sized bait, but you can only catch a big fish on a big bait and a big hook. So we put the pilchard on like that with a couple of half hitches around the tail. That becomes aerodynamic. The hook sticks out, and as an old friend of mine, Reginald Neil Bowman Thompson, used to say, there's no fish going to come along and say, that's a turn down eye 92554 NFG NFI hook, I'm not going to take it. He's just going to come up and go bang. Okay, let's cast this out and see if we can get you a fish. Okay, young man. Now you've come all the way from Perth.
Yep.
And see that there?
Yeah.
That's Michael's camera. What about saying g'day to all the people in Perth?
G'day.
How about that?
I'm from Hale School, Year 5.
Fantastic. Tell me a little bit about your fishing experiences.
Well, when I got a bamboo rod and I put a line on it, and Peter put the bait on it for me, and I casted it out, and I got a brim, but before Peter had put the bait on his one, I'd caught a brim on a mini bamboo rod. It was a good experience.
This is Rex Hunt Fishing Adventures, and you just about took us to the first break, kid. Very, very well done, I can tell you now. What I wanted to explain to you and Uncle Peter is that we just didn't come out here today in the hope that we were going to catch a fish. Number one, we decided when we found out that you won the competition from Kmart, is that we would fish for a specific fish. And that's a very, very good lesson. It sounds like my producer, Michael Donnelly there. Absolutely fantastic. And we'll get a cutaway of Michael doing an impression of that seagull.
How did you do that?
Good as that.
That was so good.
I reckon that is absolutely fantastic. You know what noises I'm good at?
What?
Farm noises. Would you like to hear my farm noises?
Okay.
Johnny! Get off that tractor! Do you like that? I cleaned that up, folks. Oh, I love kids. We're just on the change of tide. What we've got is a little bit of a burley trail going here now. And the burley seems to be working on the birds, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Isn't it?
The birds are all around the place.
How long have you been fishing?
I don't know, about 3 years, 4.
And what's the biggest fish you've ever caught?
A King George white whiting, probably about that big.
About that big.
Yeah.
And how about that, folks? We had a little bit of a bite then. No, you went to wind the wrong hand, you see. Now put your hand up there like that.
Yep.
That's it. Now, when you wind, go down with the rod and lift. Wind, I think you got him. Wind in. That's the boy. Good boy. Very good boy. Lift and wind. Lift and wind. Lift. It might feel just a little bit strange for a start, young man. You've got a little shark. What about that? Lifting and stop winding. Stop winding.
Yep.
Oh, look, you've got yourself your first shark. It is a little leopard shark. Have a look at that. They say a leopard doesn't change his spots. Now, turn around here. All the kids back there in Perth will want to see this. You can hold him. See how his teeth are just starting to form? And don't touch them. I'll just touch them there. That's a no-no. But that fish there may well be 2 or 3 weeks old, because a lot of sharks come into Victoria's Westernport to breed. And this one is going to go back. Now, I'll just give him a kiss. And what you can do is you can throw him back down over there, all right?
Yep. There you go.
How about that? And away he goes. And he might come on to Cottesloe and say to you, you saved my life, so I won't eat you. I tell you what, quite seriously, folks, when someone gets taken from a beach by a shark, it is an absolute tragedy. But this is the shark's environment, and we're only visitors there. Congratulations, young man. You've caught a leopard shark. You know you've done something I've never done. I've never caught a leopard shark. In the olden days, before sandpaper was invented, they used to dry the skins of the shark and they used to use it as sandpaper.
Yeah.
Did you know that?
No.
No, me neither. I just made it up, but it sounded all right, didn't it? Hey? Sounded okay, didn't it?
Yeah.
Have a look at that, Teylar. That little rod has gone bang. And you might think, my goodness me, what a small rod. Now, I didn't bring that for you. I brought it to explain to your mates back in Perth that while we've got these various rods like snapper rods and even a barramundi rod and heavy lines, that we can catch a big fish on a small outfit like this as long as we angle. Now I can see you absolutely over the top with me giving you a fishing lesson. Come in here and you have a bit of a play with this. Come on, mate. Just remember what I've told you. Lift and wind down. Lift up and wind down. Lift up and wind down. Lift up and wind down. That's right. Now I reckon there's a pretty good chance we might have a nice fish here. We're lifting. You've got to lift up more. Lift, use the rod. That's it. Now wind down and lifting and winding down and lifting and winding down. Keep winding, keep winding, keep winding, keep winding. Now it might be around the, it is another shark. Hold this. You've caught another shark. It is a small gummy. It is a small gummy shark. The lesson for you here is that this is a gummy shark, right? He doesn't have any teeth, okay? He's a gummy. He's a bit like your old grandfather. He doesn't have any teeth. Yep. See the white spots along the perimeter of his body? Hold him by the tail.
Yep.
And hold him up behind the top of the head like that. That's it. Now, I'll give him the kiss. And that's a gummy shark. He'll be undersized here in Victoria, so he can go back and we might see him next year. Away you go, over there, and watch him swim away. And down he goes. What do you think your mates back in Perth will think of you catching a shark?
I don't know.
There's a bite, hit him. Hit him, right, wind him in, mate, good boy. That's it. Now, here we go here. Take that hand off and go up there and through again. That's it, lifting and winding. Lifting and winding. What do you think? What do you think? What do you think? It's a snapper. Good boy. Winding and stop winding. And look. How about that? Now that is absolutely magnificent. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to keep this fish because he's well over the 27 centimetre size limit. And this, you can tell your friends back in Perth, is the best eating fish in the sea. He's around about 2.5 years old. He's well into the 32, 33 centimetre, and we're going to put him back on the old plane for you and Uncle Pete and take him back to Perth. How about that?
That's okay.
You happy?
Yep.
So am I. Thank God we caught another fish.
You know, if I had have actually not pulling it right up, he would have gotten away.
Folks, to save time on this show, we've cut into this fight about 9 minutes in and nearing the completion of a lovely fight from Teylar from the west and a nice looking snapper again from the east. Lift, young man.
Lift.
Now look at that. Have a look at that. You are a champion. Now, I don't want to blow your bags too much, young man, but did you, when we started off,
Yep.
get the idea that we came after elephant fish?
Yep.
Where are the elephant fish?
Out there, out somewhere else, probably.
Out somewhere else, probably. Because on the big flight back to Mum in Perth with Peter, you're going to take 2 beautiful Victorian snapper. And now I'm going to just get you to look down the lens of that camera while Peter has a look. I've got a bit of a surprise in the cabin and he's going to get something. Okay, there are your mates again.
Yep.
You won a competition. You went in and bought a lovely Rexy rod and reel at Kmart. How do you feel, young man?
I feel great, and it's a great experience to catch fish like that and everything.
folks, our time together in the wonderful world of fishing has come to a close again too soon. But until I'm with you again, I'll see you soon. I'm Rex Hunt.